What's up YouTube, John62491 here with some Battlefield 3 gameplay and commentary for you guys today. I'm going to talk a little bit about the gameplay throughout the entirety of the video, but I've actually got two main topics I would like to discuss. One of those being a little something that I refer to as the Battlefield curse, and the other essentially being an introduction to the channel and to kind of give you guys an idea of where I'm coming from and what you can expect to see from me in the near future. But before I get into that, I would actually like to talk about my Battlefield mentality in general in terms of being killed and it causing in-game frustration, because it directly relates to the gameplay right here. And if you listen closely right now, that was a shotgun reload, and in the gameplay I actually heard it. I'm looking for the guy. I know that he's around here somewhere and I don't expect him to be where he is. Unfortunately, I get distracted by those guys over there, and sure enough, there he is. There he is, of course. He's just lounging about in the crate, goes ahead and drops me and cheddar balls for extra measure. Just chillin', a level 17 with an N7 dog tag still. So when I get killed in a scenario like that, it frustrates me, but the difference between getting killed like that and getting killed in any other means, and there's only 3 ways like this where I can actually be killed that will frustrate me enough to the point where I will actively change my kit up to attempt to get revenge on you. And like I did right here, I got killed by a shotgun. So I went ahead and I switched to my shotgun of choice, which is of course the SPAS 12. It's definitely one of the most fun shotguns for me to use in the game. I have no idea what tactic that guy's using, but give me them tags, son. So like I was saying, the 3 ways that I can be killed that will make me change up my kit are, and this recon right here is in such a lame campy spot, and that accuracy, bro, just gets outgunned by my secondary. So the 3 ways are being killed by a shotgun, being sniped, or being killed by an enemy vehicle like a tank when I'm an assault. Now the reason I will change my kit up upon those deaths as opposed to any other just random normal death is because I feel like I got outplayed because I didn't have the right kit or the right setup for the situation. If I get killed in close quarters by an enemy using a shotgun, sometimes there's not really anything you can do against a shotgun at close quarters. I really wish that guy could have lasted half a second longer. So when you get killed by a shotgun up close, sometimes there's really nothing you can do except for maybe pull out your own shotgun and fight fire with fire, which is what I did in this scenario. If I get dropped by a tank and I'm an assault, I'm probably going to insta-spawn back as a support with some C4, and I'm going to just go ham on that tank. I'm just going to go Rambo and not care about anything else. I'm only going to focus on blowing up that tank until it's gone. If I get sniped, and it's usually not after once, not even after 2 deaths, I generally don't like playing the recon class. Not because I don't like sniping, I actually really do like sniping in the Battlefield series. It's definitely one of my, it is my favorite shooter to snipe in. I really love the realism to it, to the bullet drop, the different bullet velocity from the different sniper rifles. I just really like sniping in Battlefield. However, I don't like playing as the recon because I feel like it's the least useful to your teammates, especially in situations like this. And I see that there are guys up there, but I say ignore it, cover the MCOM, I'll go back for him later. But if I get sniped like 4 or 5 times by like the same like 3 or 4 recons that are just sitting up in one campy little area, all just spawning on each other's beacon, generally those guys suck, and the only reason they're getting you is because there's 4 or 5 of them all in one confined area, and they're all using semi-automatic snipers. They're all using the SKS or the M39 EMR, and the only reason they can get you is because they're sitting there going psh, 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 and eventually you'll get hit like 4 times and you'll get dropped by it. But those guys suck. So generally, after they kill me like 3 or 4 times like that, I'll just go ahead and I'll spawn in with an L96 or an M40, and I'm not saying that I'm an elite sniper by any means in Battlefield, but in general, the majority of recon players in this game, skill level is so poor that more often than not, you can spawn in with your sniper of choice and drop all 4 to 5 of the enemy snipers with 1 clip from yours. And that's pretty pathetic, and the thing that really upsets me is, unless you're running around actively PTFOing with a semi-automatic sniper, like aggressive recon playing, just getting headshot after headshot, actually helping your team and like topping the scoreboard, if you're playing like that, by all means use an SKS, use an M39, use whatever semi-automatic sniper you want. But unless you've got Sergeant Enigma on your team, or Woven for that matter, your snipers are probably going to be useless, and I play on Xbox, so my chances of finding them on my team are slim to none. And if you saw, I debated getting in the chopper there for a second, but I have a standard rule to Battlefield, and it's don't get into a vehicle with a pilot you don't know. It's something you should essentially equate to life with a stranger or a drunk driver, and that's why, right there, suicide is no more. So happy I didn't get in the chopper, because this is what's about to happen as a result. So I'm going to step away from the snipers for a minute. I may come back to them, I may not, but I'm going to talk about Rush for a moment here. Now, Rush is all about the name of the game. Game's called Rush. It's not called sit back in your spawn and snipe from your deployment. It's called Rush. You're supposed to rush in there, plant the MCOM, defend it, and move on to the next set of objectives. If you play that way, more often than not, if you can just use raw speed, you can probably just blitzkrieg and overwhelm your enemy before they even know what's coming. And two other major factors that actually assisted me in taking this MCOM were the fact that I was fortunate enough to have teammates that were spotting the enemies, and I used my minimap to its full effectiveness in this scenario, which is something that I feel like most players don't do in general in Battlefield. I feel like most players don't understand how useful spotting enemies is to their team, and how useful their minimap can be to them, especially in terms of spotting. Like, even if you only glance down at your minimap for a fraction of a second, if you know what to look for and you know how to read it effectively, there's so much potential information you can gain just from that half a second glance that you can directly apply to the battle around you, which will give you the upper hand, and in most cases can mean the difference between winning or losing a firefight. For instance, if you're wounded and you need to find a friendly assault or a medkit, look at your minimap. You can use it to do that. If you're low on rounds and you need to find a support or an ammo box, look at your minimap. You can use it to do that. And this shot right here is one of the reasons I love the spaz. I understand that guy was probably already wounded, but still, I killed him from like 60 feet away with one shot from a shotgun. You don't do that with most shotguns, and that's just why I love the spaz. So I talked more than enough about the minimap in general and how to use it to its full efficiency, and I actually didn't even get into not only spotting enemies, but spotting your teammates as well, and how you can apply that directly to the battle around you and use it to your advantage. I may have to actually do an entire separate video, like a PSA on general spotting and the minimap basics. But enough about that for now. I'm going to go ahead and actually start talking about the Battlefield Curse. Now, while I'm discussing this topic, I'm actually going to reference a question that was addressed to a level cap video that he uploaded about a week ago, and he actually responded to that question in his most recent video of his mailbox series, and I'll post a link to that video in the description below. But the question comes from a YouTuber by the name of Megomata123, and he asked, "Hey Level Cap, you can go to the store and buy whatever game you want, right? So I was wondering, why exactly do you play Battlefield 3 and PlanetSide most? Why don't you play other games?" And I really enjoyed Level Cap's response to this question. He essentially said that the reason that he primarily plays and uploads Battlefield 3 was because it was a constructive choice that he made when he was deciding which path he wanted to take his channel in and which direction he wanted to go with it. And obviously it worked with him. I think he's got a really good mix with Battlefield 3, and he's found a really nice niche with the PlanetSide 2 community as well. And I'm not going to be so different with my channel in terms of primarily uploading and playing Battlefield 3, but for me, that's not really a choice, and that's where the Battlefield Curse comes into place. Now, the Battlefield Curse actually only affects me in terms of playing online first-person shooters. Like, for instance, I still love playing, like, Forza 4 online. I'll probably upload some Forza 4 to this channel, actually. And this is one of those scenarios I was talking about earlier where I get frustrated in my death because I didn't have the right kit for that situation. Like, what could I do? I'm an assault, hiding on my medkit, pinned down by two enemy tanks, one on both sides of the barrier that I'm hiding behind. There's literally nothing I could do. But there's something I can do now, and that's switch my kit, switch to a support. I'm going to go ahead and keep the spaz because I've been doing work with it this game. And now I have my C4, so I'll be able to spawn in, and unfortunately Cheddar Balls has weak ankles and he just had to perish right there as soon as he hit the ground. But I'll spawn in, and I'll just go Rambo for this tank. I'm going to spawn in, pull my C4 out right away, find him, and I'm going to get him. And this is actually what happens right as I spawn in. This is what happens immediately. I don't care that I killed myself. I was able to get revenge, and I feel like I justified my death. So, I should go ahead and discuss my relationship with the Battlefield franchise in general before I get any further into the actual Battlefield Curse. So I didn't even, and this is such a good spawn. Kudos to this helicopter pilot. That was badass, man. Got me right where I needed to be. That's such a good way to get this MCOM. Completely come up behind them. They have no freaking clue. No one expects the chopper to do that. Come in here. No one sees it coming, get it, and this is actually one of the reasons we're able to win this round, I think, is because I'm able to get in here and just completely catch him by surprise. Once again, kudos to that helo pilot. I think he just got, now he's still going too, nice, good for him. So, Battlefield. I didn't actually even ever play a Battlefield game until Bad Company 2.
and I didn't even get Bad Company 2 until after the Ultimate Edition had came out. But I could tell immediately from my first round of Bad Company 2, it was almost like some online FPS epiphany. I could tell right off the bat, this was the first-person shooter for me. This franchise was where I was meant to play games online. I was just so overwhelmed by how incredibly awesome and different the experience I got from Bad Company 2 was. I got in and I was like, oh my god, the guns have like recoil and each gun feels different and there's actually like some sort of balance between them. The vehicles, just the aerial vehicles, the aquatic vehicles, the ATVs, everything. This is such a stupid idea of me. I was just trying to get the helo and I ended up disabling it, but you should never get in your jet and just go right into the enemy spawn like this. It's a sure way to get yourself killed, like what happens to me here. But this is really funny. Watch my jet debris. DerpyMatt, you poor little soul. I honestly felt bad about that, but I couldn't stop but laughing in the gameplay. And this is the tank ownage I was talking about. My squad is so stupid here. I tell them, wait, don't leave the tank. I'll spawn in as an engineer and fix it. And they're all just like, nope, screw you, man, peace. And they all just dipset by themselves. But I end up going on some ridiculous, nice little spree here with the tank. And this is actually my very first shot after I finish repping it and get in. DerpyMatt, yet again. After that, I didn't feel bad because I just felt like this kind of stuff must happen to this guy all the time. So when I played Bad Company 2 initially, I thought it was just the greatest FPS out there, and at the time, I didn't think that anything would ever come close to even comparing to it or topping it or anything like that. Fast forward 2.5 or 3 months maybe, Battlefield 3 beta drops. Now while we all know that the Battlefield 3 beta had plenty of issues, bugs, and could have been a lot better of an experience overall, I know not to judge a game overall based on its beta. And I could tell, based on how much initial fun my friends and I were having from the Battlefield 3 beta, even with all of its issues, that the overall Battlefield 3, when it was finished and polished, was just going to be a great game. And I had such high expectations for it. And even with such high expectations, sure enough, the game delivered. To this day, Battlefield 3 is just without a doubt my favorite multiplayer shooter to be playing. If I'm online and I'm playing a shooter, it's gotta be Battlefield 3, and that's where the curse comes into play. If I'm online and I'm playing Call of Duty, or if I'm playing Halo, I'm just gonna find myself looking up into the sky going, where are the jets? I'm gonna be running around on the ground like, where are the MCOMs to take? Where's the objective? Where's the teamwork? What's my goal? What am I supposed to do besides in Call of Duty other than just run around, gun at people, and listen to how annoying the community is? Or get on Halo, drive a Warthog around, gun at people, and listen to how annoying the community is. So, I can play those games, but when I'm playing them, I have this like nagging feeling in my head like, go play Battlefield. Go play Battlefield. So, that's the Battlefield curse. And this right here is like the luckiest get kicked offline ever. Right now I'm screaming to K-Boys, mines, mines, mines. He can't hear me because he's getting kicked, but luckily it kicks him just in time. Because he's the driver, when he gets kicked, the tank stops, and it literally stops like 6 inches before we hit that patch of mines, saving my life. That's just insanely lucky. But that about sums up the Battlefield curse, and I'm almost out of gameplay here, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this commentary up and go ahead and get into what you guys can expect to see from me in the near future. Obviously, a lot more Battlefield 3. I'm definitely going to upload some Forza 4 multiplayer footage with some of my close friends. Any popular game that's out there, I can go ahead and do some Let's Plays of that. I just got a new Blue Yeti microphone, so I can actually do live comms now and Let's Plays, and I'm actually going to do some hardware reviews and like product reviews as well. I chose not to use the Blue Yeti mic. I got it halfway through this commentary, and I chose not to use it because I'm going to save it for the next commentary. That way I can do sort of a quality comparison. But I also got a pair of gunners for Christmas. I'll do a product review on those. So I'll do game reviews, product reviews, Let's Plays, some amateur game journalism, and yeah, just kind of have fun with it. I want to know what you guys want to see. I want it to be a very community-based channel. This was my first commentary, if you guys couldn't tell. I'm very new to this. I'm kind of just getting the ball rolling, but I really want to get better, and I want to know what you guys thought. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up if you liked it. If you really liked it, go ahead and give it a subscribe. If anything, at least comment and let me know how I can do better. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace, and I'll see you next time.